Okay, practice 11.2. So 11.2, you need to know the area formula for a circle, which is pi r squared, as opposed to circumference, which is 2 pi r. Okay, so, all right, let's find the area of a circle with a radius of 6 feet, or 6.8 feet, rather. So I just plug the 6.8 in for the radius. I'm going to square 6.8 on my calculator. And that's 46.24. So you could call this 46.24 pi. And got square feet, or so that's the exact answer, or I could put 46.24 pi into my calculator to get an approximation. It's 145.27 roughly. And area is always square units, so I've got square feet either way, whether you do exact or an approximation. Okay, area of a circle with a diameter of 19.2. So I want the radius, right? So if I know the diameter is twice the radius. So if the diameter is 19.2, then the radius is going to be half of that. So my radius then will be my radius is going to be 9.6. Okay, and now I've got something that I can plug in for the area. Sorry, I blanked out there for a second. 9.6 squared, let's see, 9.6 squared is 92.16. So that's in terms of pi, it's this many square centimeters, or about 289.53 square centimeters. Okay, next up, let's find the radius of a circle with this area. So the area formula is pi r squared, so I know pi r squared is going to equal 1017.9. So I want to solve this for r. So I'll start by dividing both sides by pi. Remember, pi is just a number, about 3.14. I'll put that into my calculator. 1017.9 divided by pi. Use a pi key if you can. I just multiplied it there instead of dividing. So I'm just going to call that 324. That's going to round to 324. So that, remember, that's what the r squared is. This is not exact, but it's very close to that. And then I'm going to take the square root of that decimal. And I'm going to use the answer key so I don't have to type that whole thing in. So I'm actually just using that whole decimal that's on screen. And it comes out very close to 18. So the radius rounds to about 18. Okay, made a little edit there because I found the radius was 18, and then I thought, oh, I'm finding the area, so I went and found the area, but I already knew the area at the beginning of the problem. So I was just finding the radius, and there it is, about 18 meters. Okay, now let's find the diameter of a circle with an area of, we've got an area of 707 square inches. So the area formula again is pi r squared, so I can say pi r squared is going to equal 707. Okay, I can use that to solve for the radius. And if I have the radius, I just double it to get the diameter. Okay, so I'll divide by pi to get r squared. I'm going to do a decimal approximation here. It's my calculator. So let's see, 707 divided by pi is about 225.05. And then I'm going to take the square root of that. So on my calculator, let's see, I'll do the square root of my last answer. So I'm hitting second negative to get that last answer, but you could just type in the decimal as well. And that comes out very close to 15. Okay, so my radius is about 15. And now if I want the diameter, it's just 2 times 15. So that's going to be about 30. And I know my units are inches here. Not square because it's just a diameter, right? It's a linear distance, so it's about 30 inches. Okay. All right, moving on. Find the area of the sector formed by angle JLK. It's a little hard to see the shaded part here, but we're finding the area of this shaded piece on this one and this shaded piece on this one. Okay, I had to make another cut because my phone went off. All right, here we go. So when we're finding the arc length, that was part of the circumference, so it's like part of the crust of the piece of pizza. When we're finding the area of a sector, we're finding the area of that slice. Okay, so it's part of the area of the slice. This part of the area of the whole circle. Okay, so how much of the circle am I dealing with? Well, that slice takes up 50 degrees out of the 360 degrees. So it's that much. That's how much of the pizza I'm dealing with. And then I'm using pi r squared. It's part of the area. My radius there is 7. Okay. So I'll reduce. That's going to be 5/36 reduced. And then 7 squared is 49. So I got 49 pi. Okay, let's see, 5 times 49, so 245, so this is 245 pi over 36, and let's see if that reduces. 245 over 36, that actually doesn't reduce further, so we can just leave it like this. That's going to be that many feet squared. Or we don't have to write it in terms of pi, so let's see, 245 pi, divide that by 36, and we're going to get about 21.38. Okay, all right, same kind of deal here. We're dealing with 125 out of the 360 degrees, taking that much of the whole area, which I'll get with pi r squared again. Okay. So I've got 125 over 360 times 169 pi. Okay. So let's see. 125 times 169. This very large number. Can definitely reduce that, so let's go ahead and reduce it. I'm going to use my calculator to reduce it. I mean, I can see 5 goes into both of them, so I could start working on that by hand, but let's see what we got here. So I just put it in as a decimal, and then I'm going to hit math, choose fraction, and then I see that's going to reduce to 4,225 over 72. So it's that many. Let's see, we've got inches here, so square inches. Or I can multiply by pi to get the decimal version would be about 184.35. Okay. All right. Next problem. This time we're supposed to find the area of the whole circle. So I like to set these up with proportions. It's a little bit different than the way the book teaches it, I believe. But what I'm thinking of, they tell me that the area of this sector is about 156.38, well, exactly 156.38 square yards. So, hey, that's 70 degrees out of the full 360. It's that much of the circle, okay? So 70 is to 360 as the arc of the slice, the area of the slice, I should say, the area of the sector, is to the area of the whole circle. And the area of the whole circle is what I don't know yet, but that's what I'm trying to find. Now I can just cross multiply, okay? And just to give myself some nice numbers to work with, I'll just reduce that 70 over 360. And then I'll cross multiply. So 7x is going to equal 36 times 156.38. Divide by 7, and I got my answer, 804.24. Okay, and it should have the same units as the area of the sector. So that is square yards. Okay, let's try the same kind of thing over here. So this time it's a little weird because, hey, they're telling us 40 is that small piece, but then we can figure out what this angle is. Okay, it's going to be the whole 360 degrees except for that 40 degrees. So that means we've got 320 degrees right there. So it's a very big piece of the pizza, just leaving one slice left, right? So 320 is to 360. It's almost the whole pizza, but not the whole thing. As the 11.17 is to the area of the whole thing, and then I'll just cross multiply. Might as well do this first. You can reduce to 32 or 36 further if you like. But I'm going to use my calculator anyways with that decimal. So let's see. Divide by 32, and you get 12, well, I'm going to round this to the nearest hundredth, 12.57 square meters. Okay. All right, and then finally this last one, we've got this figure here that appears to be a semicircle and a right triangle. Oh, it's definitely a right triangle. Okay, so let's start with the right triangle. Okay, so I want to do 1/2 base times height for this piece. Give myself some space here. So for this piece, area is 1/2 base times height. Okay, now I can use this. My base can be down here, right? And if that's the case, 8 would be the height. Okay, so I got to do Pythagorean theorem here to find the side I've labeled b for the base. So I can say 8 squared plus b squared equals 17 squared. Let's see, 17 squared is 289. $225 then. Don't have much space here, so I'm writing kind of small. Square root of 225, and I've got 15. So this is a Pythagorean triple. Okay, so now I can find the area of the triangle. So let's see, half of 8 is 4. And I'm thinking 4 times 15. Well, 4 15-minute periods would be 60 minutes. So this is the area of the triangle is going to be 60. Okay, now let's find the area of the semicircle. Okay, so the area formula for a circle is pi r squared. So the area of a semicircle would be 1/2 pi r squared. My radius is going to be half that diameter. The radius is 4 then, right? So I've got half of 16 pi, which would be 8 pi. Okay, and now all I have to do is add these two bits together. So the area of the whole figure is going to be 60 plus 8 pi. And let's see, I've got square feet. That's the exact answer. And I could also do a decimal approximation. Let's see, 8 pi, add 60 to that, it would be about 85.13 square feet. Okay, and that is it.